Welcome, everybody. It's time for another Behind the Lines. Here today, with CEO Brian Clark. I'm John Turner. David Kilpatrick behind the scenes there. And we're joined by CFO Curtis Naiman today. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to look at a little bit at COVID again, broadband, some of the other things facing the co-op. But
I'll be glad when COVID's gone.
Yeah, I think we'll all be glad when COVID's gone. We can sit a little closer together at that point, so won't look a little as awkward as it does right now. But so one of the good things that's happening has to do with our rates and our finances.
Yep.
And luckily, I'm joined now by two accountants, and so I can just sit back and let them tell you all the good news because they get the numbers and I don't.
Well, Curtis he's the CFO. He's the brain.
Yeah, but you grew up in that world too.
Oh,
so
well,
I'm gonna let y'all go at it. But basically, we are able to continue to offer the TVA Pandemic Credit. And that's a great thing. I want to talk a little bit about the impact on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Curtis. You want to run with it?
Yeah, I can do that. So the TVA Pandemic Relief Credit, it's a credit that TVA gives us, and we pass it through dollar for dollar to our members. It's about a 2.5% decrease in our bill. We pass it through, and it shows up as a line item on everyone's bill. So every month you'll get a bill, and it shows up as a red line under your dollar amount owed, and it says how much your credit is. And now it may be $2, it may be $5, it may be $6, just depending on how much energy you use. But one thing I want to point out is that it may look like a small amount on your monthly bill, but if you take that and spread it out over almost 50,000 meters, it's about a $1.5 million impact over the system. And it's something that we're happy to be able to pass through. TVA started it in October of last year, and it was set to expire September 30th of this year, and we just recently got word that they're going to extend it for another year. So it's something that we're thankful for. We're thankful to TVA for it, and glad to be able to pass it through as a savings to our members.
Yeah, kudos to TVA for coming up with that idea, and kudos to the board for passing it on to the membership. So win-win.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always nice when we can do a little something for folks.
Yes.
We know times are tough, prices are going up. The job market is, or at least your ability to get to work now with COVID coming back is a little iffy. So I guess any little bit helps.
Yeah, I mean, you think 2.5%, to your point, doesn't sound like a lot of money. But when you think our annual sales is $120 million, so that's over $2.5 million difference.
That's right.
So it's a big impact.
Absolutely.
Well, and it also speaks well to TVA's financial position right now, that they're able to do that not just for us, but across the entire valley, because that's got to be a big impact to them as well. So I guess, and y'all are plugged in better than that, but TVA is doing a really nice job of keeping their balance sheet.
If their finances weren't strong, we wouldn't be seeing this continue. So they're doing the right things.
So, and of course, we're talking about 2.5%. Basically, is for the residential side. It's going to vary a lot more on the commercial side because there's other rate structures involved, and also a lot more heavy use. So depending on what your business you're in and what kind of energy use you have, your impact may vary, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, y'all know rates get pretty complicated at times, and especially on like your larger commercial accounts. But this credit is basically on energy usage. And commercial accounts, you have things like demand and stuff like that it's harder to calculate exactly how it's going to impact there.
Let's talk about that a little bit for people that don't really understand the demand portion of it. So jump in any point, Curtis. But on the residential side, we're mainly billing you for usage, kilowatt hours. When you bump up to a commercial account, talk about what demand is and why that impacts the bill. And I'll jump in anywhere. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So energy usage is, I like to think of it when I first came here, I was kind of ignorant to it too, and one of the engineers told me it's a little bit like water pressure. Kilowatt hours, energy usage, that is basically how much water you're using, right? Your demand is how much water pressure you have at your faucet, right? And so especially with your large commercial accounts, sometimes they need more water pressure than your average residential account does. So and that's the rate structure is set up to take that into account, not just the energy that you're using, but also the amount of energy that you could need at any one given time.
That's a really good summary, Curtis. One thing too to point out is a lot of the larger accounts that have that demand, we have to put more infrastructure in place, like more substations that cost millions of dollars. And TVA has to have more plants to generate that demand, for that demand. So that's one reason there's a big demand component on commercial accounts and not all in energy. So good
That's
point,
right.
Curtis.
That's right.
So, and there you go. There's your primer on rates for today, this month. I hope everybody, was paying attention, made notes. There will be a test later. So we talked a little bit about TVA being in good financial shape, but we are really doing well in that area as well. We talked about that a little bit this week. We had a board meeting where I think y'all talked about that. It's very difficult, and not only we're doing a good job, but I think we're doing a really good job on watching our members' finances. Y'all want to talk about that, where we are right now?
Curtis.
Yeah, and I don't want to toot our own horn too much.
Oh,
but,
you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you're not at the table, somebody else will be. So
There you go. I think the term I like is fiscally responsible. You know, I have to remind myself every so often that it's not Fort County's money. It's the members' money, and we're just called to be good stewards of it. You know. And we're very aware of the cost increases that are going on. I mean, you see it across the board right now. It's in every newspaper, every article you read.
Yeah.
Inflation. And I'm proud that we've been able to. It's been 5+ years since we've had a rate increase. You know, and you think back, 5-6 years. How many things can you think of that you can buy today for the same price that you could 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Right.
It can't be many. I can't think of many. But power through Fort County is one of those things. And you know, we're not immune to the increases that you're seeing through inflation. We see it on our materials, we see it on our labor, we see it on our contractors, things like that. And what we've done a good job of is cutting costs where we can, and it's got to be the right cost to cut. You can't cut costs that are going to affect the service that we provide to our membership. But just to give an example, we've reduced headcount here as far as employees. We refinanced all our debt a few years ago, taking advantage of lower interest rates, things like that. We've taken advantage of any program that's come through TVA as far as like the partnership credit that we've got right now, the pandemic relief credit. Anything that comes down the pike, any opportunity that we have to reduce our costs without reducing the level of service that we're able to provide to our membership, we try to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And the end goal is to keep rates as low as possible while not sacrificing service to our membership.
That's right. And Brian, of course, under your leadership, one of the things that we've really kept an eye on is doing those same things on our level, right?
Yeah.
You've tasked everybody with trying to be as productive as they can without spending more money.
Yeah, it's really kind of simple but complex at the same time. I mean, we're a large co-op in terms of distributors in the valley, right? I think we're ranked around 20 or 30th in the valley out of 155 distributors. But you know, there's a Ronald Reagan quote that says something to the effect of, "We're going to run this government like the same common sense you use in your day-to-day lives." So we apply that here, and a lot of decisions we make. If your grandmother was looking over your shoulder, would she be happy with the decisions you make? So that's one thing we look at. But the bigger picture on this is on down the road, when and if we have to have a rate increase, whether it's 2 years, 10 years down the road, we honestly want to be able to tell our members, these are all the things we did in the past to mitigate this rate increase and to prolong not having to do one, like reducing headcount, right? So years ago, we had 165 employees. 4 or 5 years ago, we had 150, 145. We're down to a little under 140 now, doing that through attrition. We look at our insurance. While we still provide a great level of benefits to our employees, but if we can do it cheaper and better and faster, that's what we're always looking for. So y'all are all doing a good job with that. Thank you.
Well, it's great to see everybody coming together and being in such a strong position, especially when things are so uncertain. So proud to be part of it, and
Amen.
proud to be able to, you can look your members in the eyes, you said, earlier, and know that you're doing the right thing, and know that we're in a better position than a lot of other places are, with prices going up, with costs, even in the power industry, rate increases, that sort of stuff. So proud to do what we do.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there anything else y'all wanted to cover on the financial side?
Well, I know that we're starting to see some issues as far as supply line. as far as getting yard lights and underground materials. Certain things are made out of certain materials, and that one little material may be the holdup, you know. So I would just throw it out there that if, I don't think we're there yet, but if in the near future our members start to see time delays and say they ask for a yard light and we can't get it there as quick as we can, it may be because we're like everyone else, you know. Like I said earlier, we're not immune to it. We're seeing the delays and shipping times just the same as anyone else is. So I would throw that out to work with us, you know, be patient. We're mitigating these things as best we can.
I would like to say thank you to the employees, John, because if you look at what's happened over the past year and a half, a lot of businesses have reduced down or not even been operating. And, you know, we've rotated shifts, done things to mitigate a COVID outbreak here at Fort County, but we have not stopped providing the level of service that the members are used to getting. I think that was evident in the February ice storm we had.
Mm-hmm.
So we have great employees, great staff. Thank y'all for towing the line during this pandemic.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody pulling together. Make
Yes,
sure
it
that,
is.
that
It's
we're
beautiful.
doing what we need to do. It is. Well, all right. Curtis, thank you for all of that. I think we
Thank
all
y'all for
learned.
having me.
We
Thank
all
you,
learned a
Curtis.
little something today. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, talk about some other stuff. So,
Yeah.
be right back.
In a small community like ours, shopping locally can make a big difference. Did you know you can shop locally for your home internet? While you're powering your devices with super fast fiber internet, you also get to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Every dollar you spend on our services goes to making our town a better place to live, work, and play. You're helping us support local education, build a stronger sense of community, and keep money right here in our local economy. Thank you for choosing your local internet provider. We're proud to keep you connected.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As the video that we just saw talked about, one of the big reasons why we're involved in broadband and why we hope you will be too is that our company is local. It's
Yes.
owned locally, it's operated locally, it's staffed by local people. The call center is staffed with local people, and we're really proud of that, right?
Yes, we are. So the people you talk to on a daily basis, no matter what part of Fastnet it is, they're local guys, right? Local men and women from your communities will be here for customer service to help you. The investment in Fastnet internet and phone will stay in your community. So that's a win-win.
Sure. And that's one thing that I don't think any of the other companies can say. They may be regional, but they're all owned by stockholders, and that money goes somewhere else, and the money that stays
Yeah, most
here.
of them are in states far off from here.
That's right. And really don't care. And hopefully over the next decades, as we provide this service, that we're going to show that not only do we provide a better or at least a comparable product, but our service and our caring is going to be top notch.
Amen.
And so it's very excited. So broadband, again, we're doing really well. Where are we on the numbers right now?
This morning we have 1,385 broadband customers hooked up and about 40 phone customers. But remember, we just started doing the phone service a couple of months ago. So it's taken off. People really are enjoying it. The mainline fiber build, John, we've got about 1,200 miles of mainline fiber built. So we are rocking and rolling.
And that's a good point. So I do want to mention that. So one of, I'll say, frustrating things for folks is they see that mainline fiber going up by their house, near their house, and they think, well, why can't I get it tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot more that goes into it than that, right?
It does. So I want to touch on what you just said too. Everywhere I go, I need to get an airbrush T-shirt that says we're coming, because that's the number one question that I'm asked everywhere is, how fast can I get it? So we're coming fast. So just hang on. The other thing, to your point, is there's 3 phases to this install, right? So there's the mainline fiber, then another crew will come do a drop to your house, and then another crew, after we schedule it, will come inside your house. So it's going to be a phased approach. Just hang on. If you see the main fiber at your road, we'll be coming with a couple other steps. The biggest thing is we just need to know that you want it.
That's right. So we do have a lot of folks who've signed up on the website, 3,000 or so, and that's what we encourage you to do. If you want it, even if we're not coming for a little while, it can help us get there quicker if you go on and just once. You don't need to do it more than once,
That's
but
right.
go on our website, www.4, fastnet.com, and go to the check availability. So you can put your address in there, and once you do that, it'll pop up and ask you some questions about who you are, what your address is, and what kind of service you might want. It doesn't commit you to
Right.
anything, but it does let us know. It puts a dot on our map so that we know you want it, and we'll be looking for you as soon as we can. Swinging back to the three phases, people go, well, why can't you go ahead and put that drop to my house? I know you can't make it work inside, but we have to have light. That's
Yeah.
what makes this whole thing go. And we really can't put those drops from the main line to your house up until we have light to that first line. And that's splicing. And that's probably the slowest part of
It
the whole
is.
process.
It is. So for people that don't know, splicing is like welding tiny fibers of hair together. Multiple layers of it. Some of them are 144 strands, some are 48 strands, some are 24 strand. So imagine a man or woman sitting out in the heat and the rain and the cold, just individually welding fibers about the size of your hair together. So that's why it's tedious.
That's
it takes
right.
time.
And that's when we will have, let's say, physical issues. That's typically what will be the problem
Yeah.
if there's an interruption in service because of some sort of weather event, that a line will be cut or kinked, and we have to go back and resplice it. And that's going to be an interesting challenge as we move forward. But luckily, fiber is very resilient.
Yeah,
So
it is.
hopefully, knock on fake wood, we won't
Yeah.
be doing a whole lot of that.
I'm gonna tell you what's impressed me, John and Curtis, to this point. You know, we've been in this business for about a year, going on a year and a half. I have, to my knowledge, y'all may have had one, but I don't think we've had one upset customer about the service or the quality of this internet. I think it's all been positive. I mean, we've gone to Rotary meetings, and you know, we ask a raise of hands of people who have it and get them to talk, and they are just excited and talk about how much of the product is better than whatever they had before,
That's right.
and all the things they can do in their house with it. So it's a win-win. It's really taken off, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
And when we do have some difficulties, of course, we are there to help, you
Yeah.
know, and typically those are technical, they're mechanical issues with sometimes the equipment has a little
Yeah.
issue, and sometimes it's with the user themselves, you know, I can't figure out how to hook this up or whatever. And, you know, we've got folks who I'm not going to say it's not their job, but if, you know, we'll talk you through it, no matter if it's Brian, if you get him on the phone, and he'll help you hook up your laptop
Yep.
to our CSRs and everybody in between. So it is a very much a team effort.
Yes.
And as a team effort, of course, Curtis, you're kind of overseeing the economic, the financial side of that. Everything, you happy over there?
Well, I am, but it looks like any good startup business, right? I mean, cash flow right now is not there. We're borrowing the money to build it, and the quicker we build it, the better the cash flow will look. But the biggest thing is that our members support it. I mean, I can't say that enough. Our members have to support it for this to work, for this venture to work. The feasibility study that we had used a projected take rate, and take rate is what percentage of the homes that we pass take our service. They used 30% on the feasibility study, and said that at 30% that it would work, right? Cash flow would be positive. But we hope we exceed that, and the biggest thing is that the members support it, and then that'll help us a lot. And I was going to touch on, John, something you said earlier, going back to web requests. If you don't have internet at your house, right, and you can't get on the internet to submit a web request, or maybe you're just not comfortable with the whole process, you can always call in,
Yep.
talk to one of our customer service representatives. They'll fill it out for you. So don't think that if you don't have internet, you can't,
That's right.
call and sign up for it. And to your point, we're watching the map. And if you go in and you submit that web request, when we have light in that area, we will call you and get you set up and schedule your installation as quick as we can.
Yep.
And that will also help. So there's a lot of, Brian said, we are being very aggressive. We hope to have main construction completed by early 2024. And while that, if you're at the end of that line, that sounds like a long time from now. It's really not. I mean, we are building this thing fast. But going on and putting those web requests in might help us. If you're at the end of the line right now, if there's enough people in your area that say, hey, I want it, it may help us move that phase up because we know there's enough interest there to your point,
Absolutely.
we can get some customers hooked up. So
Very good point.
Uh,
It's very important.
it is very important. So and how are you feeling about the whole build out right now?
I feel great about it. You know, our goal in this was to under-promise and over-deliver, so we don't want to miss any of our deadlines. Right now, we're ahead of schedule on construction, so we're going to plan on keeping it there.
And we are hooking people up right and left every day. I know we're putting a lot of signs out. People want the signs that say, hey, I'm a Fastnet customer. That makes us feel good because they're proud that they've got the
Yes.
service and they're proud that they're supporting us, and we hope to see that continue so that we can make this a success. One of the things that could impact us that hasn't yet, of course, is COVID. You alluded to this earlier. We're doing our best to sort of mitigate the impact to our core business processes and our people and our members. I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah, I do too. Especially the installers. They're out in the field all day. They're not in the office much at all. I'm not really worried about them so much as maybe the office staff, but we have them separated right now, and encouraging masks and washing hands and sanitary stuff like everybody else is doing. So I feel real comfortable about it. We had a few COVID cases a few weeks ago, but we're back down to whatever the new normal is for right now. So I feel good about that.
So we're healthy. We have not, relatively healthy. We have not closed the offices.
Correct.
The lobbies are still open. We're going to try to continue to do that as much as we can. We encourage everybody, I guess, to do what you need to do to stay safe and stay comfortable. And please just, everybody just take a deep breath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as always, we're available over the phone, the internet. Reach out to us if you have questions on either side, the electric side or the broadband subsidiary. Call us. Talk to us.
That's right. Call us, email us. We are happy to continue a dialogue with you. We'll keep you posted on where we are in the process, and we want everybody to be happy.
We're here to serve you in several different ways.
That's right. So, well, I guess that's kind of all we had on the agenda today. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it quits for August?
Nope. Just thank y'all and God bless.